let's see. There's a chat icon. Delete ads is important. Oh, holy shit, people are joining. That's crazy. Hello, two of you. My first ever live stream. Just trying to kind of test out the bugs here. Thank you, Seth. I really appreciate you. That is crazy that people are actually joining this. I Charlesed all over my Oliveira when I saw the stream. Me too, buddy. Me too. So you guys tell me, what exactly do people do on live streams? Do a live companion for the next Charles Oliveira? I could. I don't know when that'll be, though. What do you mean glazing Oliveira again? And why? I mean, people say that, but it's like, how do you glaze? Like, people don't say you're glazing Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, Charles is kind of like my Jesus. Like, I'm not glazing him. That's just my guy. You know what I mean? Who do you think Charles should fight next? I thought Renato Moicano would be a really cool fight. Hello, Haggerty. Who's Haggerty? I don't know who that is. How did you learn about all the nuances in MMA? Adderall and autism, I think, are the two. The only way to really be able to like sit through and like really break down fights is having autism. And the only way to really channel that autism is through Adderall. So that's kind of how that's how I've done it. Who do you think is the most skilled in the UFC right now? Not accomplishments, just pure skill. Probably Islam. I probably Islam, honestly. I mean, I don't think anybody can do as much as he can, as good as he can. We have a fake number one contender lightweight division. I always say if you want to get rid of the number one contender division, put him in a 3-round title winner. I agree. Who do you think is the best armchair analyst? I don't know. To be honest, I don't really watch other people. I don't really watch like other MMA YouTubers, really. I mean, maybe I should. What camera are you using right now? I am using my cell phone. I am using my Galaxy S23. Charles was robbed. I wouldn't say Charles was robbed, but he definitely should have won the fight. Jonathan Haggerty, 1FC Muay Thai champ. Interesting. How long have you actually been grappling to be real? How long have you actually been grappling to be real? I don't know what that means. Weasel thinks Habib is above Islam. Weasel says a lot of things. A lot of dumb things. El Gordo, Lucas Tracy owns you. Dude, I would quit. I would completely give up on my channel if Lucas Tracy just recognized me. I mean, that's my goal. The day Lucas recognizes me, I can die happy. So I would agree with that statement. How much of a chance does Charles Oliveira have against Islam? I would say maybe like 3 out of 10 against Islam. It's just so hard because Islam is so good at taking the fight where you're the worst. You know? Rank your top 5 UFC boxers. Number 1 is Ilia Topuria. I don't think there's any argument there. I think he's the best. I think number 2 would probably be like either JDM or Dustin. I'd probably say, I guess Dustin, and then JDM, and then Max Holloway, and then I guess Conor McGregor. You do not look how you sound. Do you prefer Colby, Max, or Charles? What kind of question is that? Why is my profile picture Dylan Dennis? I mean, I don't know. I kind of just I just chose Dylan Dennis kind of off a whim, and Peter Yan. Peter Yan. Yeah, Peter Yan's in there somewhere. Peter Yan is definitely in there somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of picked Dylan Dennis as a complete joke without really thinking about it, and it just kind of stuck. Since when is MMA Shea a twink? I've been one for a long time, a long, long time. Do you think Charles should fight Colby or Max? God, I do not know how a fight between Charles and Max would go. That would be, God, I don't know. I'd rather see him fight Colby. I think he subs Colby, to be honest. Who do you think would win in a fight between GSP and Khabib? GSP would destroy Khabib. That's kind of dumb. I mean, when you're fighting Khabib, the number one thing is just don't get backed up against the fence. And because GSP has the takedown threat, I mean, GSP will duck under. I mean, his reactive takedowns are so good, he doesn't need to back up when Khabib comes forward with a flurry. See, when Khabib was fighting, Conor, Dustin, Gaethje, they were so scared of the takedown that when he would come in with a big flurry, they would just cover up and back up to the fence where they'd get taken down. But GSP would just duck under Khabib's shots and take him down. So I think as long as he stays off the fence, he wins easily. What do you think of octopus guard being used in MMA? Khabib was able to use it to sweep in a fight after he got a takedown. I mean, I think there's a lot of untapped potential with jiu-jitsu and MMA. I think a lot of the best jiu-jitsu guys right now, they have a real old school style. Like even Charles, his jiu-jitsu style, it's real old school. You know what I mean? Like if you watch ADCC, how many of these guys are playing full guard? I mean, none of them. They're all wrestling. They're playing half guard. But I mean, Charles will he'll just grab full guard and stay there. That's not really what the high level jiu-jitsu guys do anymore. But because people can make a lot of money in jiu-jitsu now, they're not even transferring to MMA. Seen Ruotolo first MMA fight today? Yes, I did. I mean, I was surprised that they gave Ruotolo. The guy wasn't a complete can. I thought he was gonna. I thought the guy. I assumed they were giving him just some wash, but the guy was actually pretty good. Though I mean, the gap between them on the ground was just that's insane. I think the Ruotolos have a really good style for MMA. I'm curious. It's a shame they're fighting in ONE FC though. I wish it was the UFC. If they ever want to fight, do you believe that Islam would beat Leon? Not in a million years. I think Leon is a really hard fight for Islam. It's a really hard fight. I mean, Leon is just so much taller, so much longer. He keeps so much distance. I mean, Islam's going to need to try to find a way to close the distance. And I don't know how he can do that. I don't know how he can do that effectively. Did Flukas already sign the contract? Dude, I kind of knew before I posted that video that he wasn't gonna say anything. He was just gonna. I mean, people were asking him about it on his stream, and he was just like, no comment. After I posted the video. I mean, I can't blame him. What's he gonna say? He's gonna actually beat me in a fight? There's no way. Your opinion on John Jones versus Dylan Dennis at UFC 300? I think Dylan Dennis subs John Jones, I'll be honest. No, I'm just kidding. Usman was able to close distance with Leon, just couldn't take him down. Yeah, I mean, Usman, though, is just way bigger, though. That's the thing. I mean, Leon had to respect his striking a lot more. You're so cute. Thank you. I know. Stop the albino on albino crime, please. Charles would actually kill Volk at 155. I hope so, because I'd fucking shoot myself if Charles lost. Shay, what do you think would happen if Volk won the first Islam fight? How would the UFC be now? God, I don't know. I mean, they probably would have made Volk versus Charles, and I guess that's however that fight would have gone. That's something I'd have to really sit down and think about. How long does it take you to finish Lucas Tracy? Just name a submission, and name any Aikido move, and I would hit it on him. I mean, no question. You could tie both my arms and both my legs behind my back, and I would still beat Lucas Tracy. I mean, there's a reason why he never said anything to the call-out. I mean, there's a reason why. Let's be honest. I want to fight Lucas. I mean, it wouldn't be fair. I think I'm more. Have you ever competed in MMA before? I have done an MMA smoker. It's on YouTube. I don't think anyone's ever found it. I actually have a few fights of mine on YouTube, but I don't think anyone's ever found them. I mean, maybe I'll post them at some point. Even washed, Colby was able to control Leon for 3 minutes on the ground. I mean, people kind of throw that term around very easily. They're just like, oh, he's washed, I mean, why do you think Colby's washed? I mean, he was a bit inactive, but I think, if anything, that's probably aids to his longevity as far as injuries go. I mean, I don't think that Colby was washed. I just think Leon was way better. How tall are you, Mr. Shea? I am 6'2". Do you script your YouTube vids or just freestyle? I just freestyle them. Well, I freestyle them, but I mean, I definitely... One thing I will say I respect about Lucas Tracy is he just can turn the camera on and just kind of go. And that he could post a lot. I really try to come up with, something somewhat intelligent. I think, at least when I make my videos, so it can kind of take me a while. So I kind of get an idea out there and I kind of outline what I want to say, and then I freestyle it. Do you think Charles will ever become champ again? Honestly, probably not. I wish. Charles and the CJI, I don't know. I think that I just don't know if Charles is that high level with the leg locks, to be honest. Like I said, Charles kind of has an old school style of jiu-jitsu, to be honest. I mean, his jiu-jitsu game, it's not very modern. Nah, this isn't a face reveal. I've done it a few times. Cade Rotolo versus Charles in sub-grappling. Cade Rotolo would destroy Charles. And Cade Rotolo is an ADCC champion, man. I mean, Charles, for MMA, his jiu-jitsu is amazing, but it's not. It's not to that level. In-depth breakdown of Garcia versus Craig Jones. Who's Garcia? Oh, Gabby. Dude. I don't know. I mean, Craig should destroy her, but I think he would. Did you have a broken front tooth, and what is the story? Oh, yeah. You guys want to see something? I'm missing my 2 front teeth. These are fake. Are you drinking soy milk? No, it's coffee with a shot of Hennessy. That's kind of how I start my mornings typically. Does JDM beat Leon? I don't think so. I mean, I love JDM, but I don't think so. What are your socials? I'm only on Instagram, and it's just CHE and then BLAIR, all one word. Why are you obsessed with another man, bro? Who? Charles? I'm not obsessed. He's just like my Jesus. Are you an alcoholic? Yes. Yeah. I'm a very functional alcoholic, though. Are you full-time YouTuber now or still working? I mean, full-time. I do some other stuff on the side. I teach jiu-jitsu at a I don't know if I want to dox the gym, but I do teach jiu-jitsu a few times during the week. But other than that, yeah, I would say I'm full-time. People say Brock Lesnar was the worst UFC champion. Nah, that's Raquel Pennington. Is the worst in UFC history. What time is it on your side? It's 10:25 a.m. Who has the juiciest forearms in combat sports world? Oh, I would say Drickus. Yo, Shay, I'm a boxer trying to transition into MMA. Is it better for me to start training wrestling and kickboxing, or should I get into MMA straight away? I would say, wrestling and kickboxing first, 100%. I think if you're trying to go into MMA, you should be training the disciplines separately first and kind of build a base in each discipline and then start doing MMA. Chandler will wrestle and easily destroy Conor on the ground. And he might. I mean, I think if Conor is anywhere near where he used to be, he shouldn't. And if he has the right style and game plan for the fight, then Chandler shouldn't. But I mean, like I said in my video, we don't know. He might officially be washed. We do not know. How much do you think Flukas makes in a month right now? Like 80 grand? No, I wouldn't say 80 grand. I would say significantly less than 80 grand. Who would win in a fight, MMA Guru or Lucas Tracy? Probably MMA Guru. Kayla versus Islam, Judo only. That's a good question. I mean, I don't know if it's bantamweight Kayla, probably not. But if we're looking at like 170 pound, like throbbing penis Kayla Harrison, I would say she would win. The major problem with Charles versus wrestlers isn't his takedown defense, but his willingness to stay on the ground and also to not make too much effort to defend the takedown. He relies so much on his jiu-jitsu. See, I don't think him relying on his jiu-jitsu is the problem necessarily, but he just needs to transition to other things. Like holding full guard while his head is pressed up into the fence, that's terrible. That's horrible. He shouldn't do that. But he should be attacking the legs. He should be trying to transition to a lot of different things. Is it hard to eat wings or chicken without the teeth? No. I mean, not really. Not really. I am getting implants this month, finally, so. Because for a long time, I was just missing one tooth. If you guys remember from my UFC 300 video, I just was missing one. A lot of people said in the comments I had a tooth gap, but I was just missing one of them. But then I lost the other one too. So three hottest women MMA fighters in the UFC. I would say Chris Cyborg, number one. I would say welterweight Kayla Harrison, number two. And I would say who's number three? Vanderlei Silva. How much does an implant cost? Too much money. I'm going to Tijuana for the implants, and I'm going to hit up Hong Kong after I'm done there. So hopefully enough that I have money afterwards. Who would win if I don't know why you guys are asking between MMA Guru and Lucas Tracy. MMA Guru would smash him. What does Che even mean? Che Guevara? I don't want to associate myself with Che Guevara. Thank you very much. But I mean, kind of. What percentage of the population can you beat in a street fight? I would say like 99.99%. Are you on PEDs? Yes, I am on PEDs. I genuinely am. No parlay picks tonight, Jay. I will eventually get to making parlays about fight nights, but I'm just trying to get better at I've only done 3 full card breakdowns. And God, the first couple took me so long to make. But I'm getting more efficient at it, so I eventually I'll start doing all of them. Why did you lose your teeth? So when I was in the 5th grade, I knocked them both out. Yes, my real name is Shay. When I was in the 5th grade, I knocked both of them out on a pogo stick. So they had to put my teeth back in, and I had to get root canals on both of my teeth, which makes the roots of them brittle. So I lost the first one because I was getting ready for a fight, and my coach at the time was getting ready for a professional boxing match. And he was hitting me with heavy shots. He's a big guy. And I remember after the sparring round, I was like, oh, my front teeth kind of hurt. And they were like, oh, that's kind of weird. Do you have a mouth guard? I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then like a week later, I got a big boil above my gum. And I went into the dentist, and they said the root of my tooth was broken. So they had to pull it all out. And I'll tell you what, my pickup game took a serious hit after that one. That's a lie. He was broken. Had to call the tooth fairy. Yeah. Do you have CTE? I might. I might. I mean, I don't fight anymore, but I could. I've probably been hit in the head thousands of times. Though I do microdose mushrooms and I take lion's mane, which apparently, from what I heard on Joe Rogan, is supposed to regrow brain neurons. So fingers crossed the CTE doesn't hit me. Shay, can you play basketball? I do. I can play basketball. I'm actually pretty good at basketball. I'm actually pretty good. Oh, that Hennessy's strong. What belt are you? In Aikido? I'm a 8th degree black belt in Aikido. Can you tell us about your MMA journey? Yeah, so as you guys know, I don't talk about it very frequently, but when I was a kid, I was a Taekwondo prodigy. I was really, really elite at Taekwondo, but I stopped when I was about 12. And when I was 18, I started getting into the UFC just because I was watching Joe Rogan. For real about the lion's mane thing? Yeah. So when I was 18, I was about to graduate high school, and I was like, wow, I need to figure out some kind of career path. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll do MMA. And so I started training Jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and I ended up having 2 Muay Thai fights. I went 1-1 in Muay Thai. The first guy I fought, I lost a split decision, and he's currently the amateur champion for my state right now. So kind of a flex. I won the second fight, but I don't know. I had kind of started realizing how terrible of a career path it is. I mean, like odds are, to be honest with you, I was pretty sure I could get into the UFC, but I didn't think that I could become champion. And it was like, well, if I can't become champion, then I'm not going to make enough money to like be set. So why am I even going to do it? So I started doing YouTube instead. And weirdly, it's kind of worked out for me. How old are you? I'm 23. 23. Is MMA YouTube good money? Thinking about going ham on videos. Well, the CPM, which is how much you get paid for sports content, is pretty low compared to other niches, but this is all I know how to do. So this is my one topic I think I know about. So I'm doing okay. You made me some money on my last pay-per-view. You're welcome. You're welcome. In the beginning, there was Charles Oliveira. Yep. How many MMA Joeys would it require to beat one prime Stipe? I would say like 6. Have you ever trained? Yeah, Aikido and Taekwondo for a long time. Do you have ADHD? No. I do not have ADHD. The Adderall just comes from, I just know a guy. McGregor versus Chandler prediction. Well, I think McGregor. Oh wow! Someone became a member. What? That's crazy. Who is this guy? What's your name? Average Adderall enjoyer. Is that? I don't know. Is that your name? I can't. I've never done this before. I've never streamed before, so I don't know how exactly this works. Thank you though, man. I'm gonna give you a good reach around in all of my videos from now on. In fact, anyone who becomes a member, I'm going to give you guys a good reach around. Emily Elizabeth, you're kind of fine. What, was there a girl in here? That's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you. Where is the Charles plushie? I did order a 6-foot cutout cardboard of Charles. I'm going to put behind me. What do you think of catch wrestling over BJJ? Who the hell does catch wrestling? Batman versus all the UFC fighters video. That would be a good video. I don't think anyone's beating Batman. McGregor versus Chandler prediction. Real quick, Shay, what is your viewership split men versus women? It is literally like 99.2% men and 0.8% women. McGregor versus Chandler. I mean, look, a lot of people. I mean, look, when Conor first fought Khabib, a week after that fight, everybody was like, wow, Khabib is so good. That's crazy. And then like a couple weeks later, the narrative shifted. It became, oh, Conor's washed. That's why he lost. He's washed. And I always thought that was so stupid. I'm like, people would throw that out so recklessly. And then Conor fights Cowboy. He wins. And then everyone's like, oh, Conor's back. Loses to Poirier. He's washed again. He's not washed. I just think, first of all, Khabib, terrible matchup. And Dustin Poirier is a really tough matchup for Conor. I don't think we've seen him washed yet. This is going to be the fight we find out if he's washed. He's been out for 3 years, coming off that leg break. This is where we're going to find out if he's washed. And if he is washed, he'll probably lose. If not, he's going to win. Your audio is out of sync, is it? I will try to fix that at some point. I don't know how, but I will work on that if that's the problem. Shay, we have the same name. Respect. Conor's been washing himself in liquor for years. Yeah, he certainly has. Did decent against Khabib, but that was 6 years ago, man. It was 6 years ago. I don't know what your point was, but that was 6 years ago. Aspinall or Poatan in what? Like, who do I find more attractive? I would say Poatan. Do you think Conor could beat Poirier again? I think Poirier is a really hard matchup for Conor because Poirier is so... Conor, he's a knockout artist, and he's really good at getting those knockouts, but Poirier, I mean, when they fought, was way bigger. I mean, you look at them next to each other. Poirier definitely was way bigger. He could tank Conor's shots, and if Conor can't knock you out, it's a tough fight for him. And I don't think he can knock out. I don't think he could knock out Poirier. I think at featherweight, Conor's power was insane, but it's never been the same at lightweight. Do you like Shavkat versus Kamaru? I do like that, but if I'm Kamaru, I am not taking that fight. Fuck that. Shay, have you made an MMA YouTuber tier list? I'll be honest, I don't really watch other MMA YouTubers. I mean, I don't know if I should. I never really have. I can try. Coke, alcohol, and steroids might super Conor. Well, the steroids certainly will. And that's another thing too. Everyone calls Conor a cokehead. I mean, the truth is, doing coke and being a cokehead are two different things. I don't think you would know that unless you have experience with cocaine, like I do. I have a lot of experience. Thoughts on John Jones being gay? That was crazy. That comedy club, the footage of him in the comedy club. I mean, I don't know what the excuse for that is. That was very gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that was crazy. Nah, don't watch other MMA YouTubers. Your channel and takes are so unique. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the $2, Nate. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. This comedy historian right here is my buddy Nate. I love this guy. You guys gotta check out his channel. Wait, you did cocaine? Often. Very, very often. Very, very often. See, I swear to God, people don't... there's a big difference between using drugs and being addicted to drugs. There's a big difference. I don't think... most people don't. I don't think you would even know that. I mean, watch Dr. Carl Hart on Lex Friedman if you want to learn more about that. Shay, any updates on the Lucas Tracy fight? I don't think Lucas wants it, clearly. MMA Guru watched your video on Islam versus Dustin and said Islam would submit him through a Von Flue choke. He probably did. MMA Shay, I thought you were going to be black. I wish I was black. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. How tall are you? 6'2". What is the move that Makhachev pulled against Poirier before submitting him called? That's amazing. I'm terrible with the names. I'll be honest. I don't know exactly what you would call that, but that is a pretty common move in wrestling. You kind of flip the leg like that. I'm horrible with the names. I'm terrible with the names, but you'd see that a lot in like high school wrestling. How will your channel evolve in the future? I don't know. I'm surprised I've made it this far. I wish I was black. Ian Gary moment. I was kidding. It's not an ankle pick. Leg drag, I guess. It's not an ankle pick, though. It's not an ankle pick. Chandler is a more difficult fight stylistically for Islam, even if Conor wins. Yeah, for the first round. Chandler is going to be real tough, but then he's going to progressively get easier to beat. When did you become a Charles Oliveira stan? It was after I made that video the video titled Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush will not be close. And I said that I thought Beneil was going to crush him. After that, I mean, the internet ripped me a new one so bad that I had to become a Charles stan. What, Ollie? Hold on, I got to let my dog out of the room. What? Out where? Okay. All right, I'm back. Do you do just YouTube or do you have another job? Pretty much just YouTube. Who would win, Kamaru Usman with real knees or Khabib? I think Usman with real knees would destroy Khabib easily. Shay, do you think the future generation of iPad kids are going to be interested in the UFC or MMA? I mean, I've made this point a long time ago. America is going to progressively get worse and worse in the UFC just because, the kind of money you're fighting for in the UFC in America sucks. But if you're living in some cave in Dagestan, like that 10K to show up, that's a lot of money to them. So I think other countries are going to be doing a lot better than America within the next 20-ish years or so. Best video game out right now. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I used to be a big gamer, but I'm so out of the loop now. I have no idea. I'm playing that new Supercell game though. What's it called? Okay, Squad Busters. That's my answer. Squad Busters. All right, Nate. I appreciate it, man. Doesn't USA have way better coaches, though? I mean, maybe. Well, yeah, exactly. They're going to all travel to America to train, but then, they're going to, Found pictures of Yadong on my girlfriend's phone. Care to comment? I think that's something that you need to. I don't got any advice for that issue right there. Do you play Clash of Clans? Yes, I do play Clash of Clans, kind of. I mean, I still get on there and collect my my resources, but I don't actually do anything. Do you have a girl? Why, Explorer? Are you trying to? I mean, do an MMA guru impression. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do that. Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor in boxing. Who wins? Conor McGregor wins that one easily. What's your next video about? I've got 2 already made. Probably come out. One tomorrow and one probably Monday. You guys have to wait on that. Ilya versus Islam. I think Islam probably beats Ilya. I think Volkanovski, he has the skills to beat Ilya. He just needs to. I don't know. His game plan for that first fight was pretty bad, where he was just kind of trying to stay on the outside and throw kicks. I mean, that works if you're a lot taller than your opponent and your opponent is just looking to box. But he was kicking with his chin up in the air, and he was just waiting to get knocked out. Honestly, every time Ilya stepped in with punches, Volk should have shot. That's what he should have done. But any thoughts on that Kevin Holland armbar? That was pretty. I mean, it was. I mean, Michelle should have tapped. Because if your arm is gonna dislocate like that, the fight's over anyway. I mean, why? Will Charles improve his game if he trained with Makhachev? And what is your thoughts on Charles' matchup versus Colby? I don't know. I mean, see, Charles's takedowns aren't that bad. I mean, you see when he shot that double on Dustin and then circled to his back. I mean, that's pretty good. He just doesn't really try to take down wrestlers for some reason. He probably should. I think. I don't know. Colby is an interesting one. I mean, Colby's jiu-jitsu is not really there. I think if he took down Charles, he might be in trouble. Current Khabib could literally just sit on current Conor. Probably. I mean, Khabib's fucking husky as hell right now. Shay, up to which point getting stronger won't help in fighting? I mean, I don't know. If you've got like a real good strength and conditioning program and you've been doing it for like, over 3 years, you're probably kind of capped out, I'd assume. At that point, you're kind of trying to maintain. I mean, if you're already like 28, 29, 30 years old, you're probably as strong as you're going to get. Do you think the UFC is going to be overrun by dominated by them in the future? Yeah, probably. I mean, I think other countries too. I don't think it's just Dagestan specific, but they're going to be a problem for sure. MMA Guru and Lucas Tracy said the ref shouldn't have stopped the Michelle Oleksiejczyk fight. Let me add this in real quick. I get comments telling me that the way I mispronounce names is kind of getting old, and like I should probably stop doing that joke. It's not a joke. That kind of hurt my feelings because I actually try to do the names correctly, I promise. Oh my God, someone sent me $10? What? Bumfuzzle, dude, that is so nice of you, man. I can't believe you did. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Did Aspinall really set the standard on how to recover from a major knee injury? A lot of fighters don't take the time to let the knee grow back. I mean, yeah, fucking Tony Ferguson. He came back 6 months after his like a catastrophic knee injury and didn't do any PT. I know, it's crazy. I think Aspinall definitely, I mean, he definitely set the standard there for sure. Outside of YouTube/MMA, what do you do for fun? Nothing. I play a lot of Clash Royale. Who do you got, the Mavs or the Celtics? God, I hope the Mavs can win. I mean, I'm a Laker fan. I'm a diehard Laker fan, so obviously I'm rooting against the Celtics. But, I mean, dude, I think the Mavs overall have a better team. I mean, they just need to – everyone on the Mavs needs to play up to Luka's level, I would say. How do you think Suga versus Merab goes? I just think Merab's distance management kind of sucks. And I think Sean Sean should knock him out. But if he can't, maybe he just rocks him and hurts him, and then we start getting into the third, fourth, fifth round. Sean might start getting in trouble. But the problem with the Dagestanis, they are inactive. Well, they're just so risk adverse, to be honest. I mean, that's the thing that they're. Well, I say them. Really, we're looking at Khabib's camp. They're so risk adverse. So, yeah, that's kind of how you want to do it, though, if you don't want to lose. I mean, I know everyone says this, but if Khabib kept fighting, eventually he would lose. That's why he stopped fighting, which, you can hate on him all you want for. I mean, it certainly doesn't help his argument if he wanted to be the GOAT, but it's kind of smart. If you had to fight a Dagestani, what would be a good game plan? It depends what Dagestani. It depends what I mean, they're all a little different. Thoughts on Billy Ray Cyrus? A lot of thoughts there. I've got a lot of thoughts. Thoughts on Indian MMA? I couldn't even tell you an Indian MMA fighter. He didn't want to fight GSP till he drops to 155. Though. The thing is, GSP, if he was fighting today, would be a 155er. I mean, GSP walked around at 183 pounds, he said himself. Just back then when he was fighting, guys didn't cut as much weight. What's a good game plan against Islam? That's a question right there. What's a good game plan against Islam? I mean, see, it's so hard because Islam can do it all. There's no hole in his game to exploit. Be good enough. There's no game plan against Islam. I mean, your skills can either compare to his or they can't. I mean, there's no secret game plan for him. I mean, he's way too well-rounded. He's way too well-rounded. Thoughts on Beneil destroying Charles in a rematch? That's not going to happen. No way. Let's see. What else we got? Khabib team doesn't make its money fighting, although Islam fighting with stuff shows they have money problem. Nice. Who do you think wins, Islam or Arman, and why? Well, as far as pure wrestling goes, Arman's better, but I don't think he's better enough to really win the fight with his wrestling, and everywhere else Islam's better. He's a better striker, he's taller, longer. His jiu-jitsu is a lot better. His judo's a lot better. I just don't think Arman really doesn't have very many advantages at all. What age did you get into the UFC? I got into the UFC when I was 18. That's when I started watching Joe Rogan, and he kind of got me into it. Thoughts on Khabib money trouble? Another failed business venture and now tax evasion accusation. I just hope we see him in the UFC again. I hope that's what I hope. I mean, what happened with Eagle FC? I mean, Khabib probably doesn't even do that anymore, does he? Does that even exist anymore? I don't know. I think Khabib needs to come back. Dana will pay him $10 million for another fight, and then that'll solve all his problems. I really hate the Max is the best boxer in the UFC narrative. He's a good striker, but Ilya is levels above in pure boxing. Same goes with Jan, Moreno, JDM. Yeah, I agree. I think Holloway's a really good striker, but it's pure he doesn't really do pure boxing. Not like Dustin Poirier or Ilya or JDM does. That's very true. What's a good game plan against John Jones? Yeah, I mean, John Jones is a little different because, we've kind of seen a style that's effective against John Jones, and that's, the one thing Dominic Reyes brought to the table was that he was very athletic, very strong, and he okay boxer, right? Because John Jones is not a power puncher. His boxing's not that good. So and Alexander Gustafsson did the exact same thing. Have good enough takedown defense that he can't take you down, and get into boxing range and land shots. I mean, that's the style against John Jones. And that's why John Jones doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. That's exactly what Tom Aspinall does really well. Did you see Guru saying he would give prelim fighters bonuses to shame the UFC for paying them so little? Yeah, that's so fucking cool. That's so cool. I mean, that's all. I mean, I wish I could do something like that. I don't make enough money to do that. I contribute $20 to that fund. Let Guru know I can contribute $20 to his fund if he wants my help. Why are you obsessed with Charles Oliveira, and when did this obsession start? That is a great question. It started when I made a video claiming that Beneil Dariush was going to beat the fuck out of Charles. And I was very confident about it. I was like, Charles has no shot. Beneil's going to destroy him. And, you know, the fight happened. The internet ripped me a new one. I mean, that was bad. I still have not fully recovered from that. So, Charles is now my Jesus. The UFC will be dominated by fighters who counter Dagestanis like Arnold Allen or Diego Lopez. Since when is Arnold Allen a counter to Dagestanis? Diego Lopez, yeah, dude, he's a fucking problem off his back. Something about Mexican fighters, they're so nasty off their backs. Max, always known as a pillow puncher, knocks the fuck out of his last two opponents. Proof of being on the sauce. I mean, his power might just carry a lot better at 155. I mean, you know, we see that when guys move up and down weight classes, your power changes 100%. Like Conor is a good example where his power was insane at 145. And at 155, it was never really the same. Max his power is a lot better at lightweight, or he is on steroids. I mean, I think everybody should be on steroids. I think you're kind of dumb if you're not. Lopez is Brazilian, just trains out of Mexico for some reason. That's very racist of me. I'm sorry for assuming. But, you know, yeah, it still applies. What second best fighting organization after the UFC? I guess one. I don't really watch other ones, though, but I guess ONE FC probably. Islam versus Eddie Hall. Islam would beat Eddie Hall. I mean, Islam would land 3 hard calf kicks and Eddie Hall would be tapping. Islam dropped Volk in his second fight. LOL, he always had power. I agree. Any plans on a Makhachev versus Arman breakdown? Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I'll do that. Oh, my God, another guy became a member. What? Las Jitsu. Dude, man, I really appreciate it. I will be giving you good reach arounds in all my videos. What does Shay stand for? It stands for my name. It stands for my name. Oh, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Cool room. Thank you. Unprofessional. Oh, dude, come on. You guys are expecting me to be professional. That's insane. Islam on them Russian roids. 100%. I would be shocked if he wasn't. Another member? What? Bumfuzzled. You too, man. You too. I'm going to be saying such nice things about you guys. What are your thoughts on U.S.-Cuba relations during the Cold War? What? Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts on that. Too many to say all right here, but maybe I'll make a video about that. Volk won the first fight. I don't think so, but Do you think Topuria has a chance against Islam? I mean, Islam's strategy against Topuria would be very simple. Just stay on the outside and only throw kicks. I mean, he's way taller, way longer. He would just don't box. I mean, and the second Ilya closes the distance, shoot, clinch. You know what I mean? That strategy should be very simple. But then you look at the Dustin fight. Islam like boxed with Dustin, which kind of blew me away. So, does your girlfriend provide for you? Yes, she does. Armin is 100% blasting gear, probably. MMA Shea looks like if Wade Concept and Dylan Dennis had a baby. Yeah, I agree. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me. You ain't 6'2". I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I get a measuring tape out. Ilya could head kick KO him as well. Ilya's been dropped twice with those. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, and I've always said that's the problem with being a pure boxer in MMA, is that if you fight somebody taller, longer, with good movement, they can just not box with you. They'll just stay on the outside and only throw kicks. And all of a sudden, you're kind of neutered. MMA Shea face reveal. No, I've done a few face reveals. Is MMA Shea a Mong? I don't know what that means. Can I get mod? Ooh woo. I don't know. I don't. What does that mean exactly? Can like a mod on the stream? I don't know about that. Do you believe the Earth is flat? How did you know? Who's the GOAT in your opinion? John Jones. I would say John Jones is the GOAT. Kind of hard to say he isn't. Leon smokes Islam. I agree. You look like a cartoon character for sure. I've gotten that ever since I was a little kid. Do you think John Jones is gay? Yeah. I do. What's your reach? 73.5 inches. I've got short arms. I mean, I don't know. It's about equivalent to my height. MMA Guru mods timed me for 5 minutes because I said they were fat. That's why I can't be giving out mods very willy-nilly like that. Is Khabib on your top 10 GOAT list? I don't know. I guess not. I don't know. I can give you 5. I don't know about 10 off the top of my head. But Khabib is definitely not top 5. I'll tell you that. Who would win in a fight, Jamal Hill or Dricus at 205? That's a good question. See, I don't know. I don't like giving I like to really research my prediction, so it feels kind of weird spouting one out. I guess Dricus, I guess, but I don't know. I'd have to really look at that. What do you think about bedtime? I don't know. I don't really watch him, but I know everyone loves him, so he probably does a really good job. Prime Tony beats Dustin Poirier and gives Khabib hell. What do you think? I don't know about gives Khabib hell necessarily, but I think it would be a tougher fight because, I mean, what Khabib was so good at was just breaking his opponents. You know what I mean? With top pressure, just completely smashing them, breaking them, fatiguing them. But Tony wouldn't have gassed. He would have stayed in there throwing elbows. I think Khabib would have won, but it wouldn't have been like a flawless victory, I don't think. As far as beating Dustin, I don't know, though. I mean, maybe. I think Dustin would have hit him with some heavy shots, but he probably wouldn't have been able to put Tony away, and Tony would have started coming on in the later rounds. That would have been a good fight for sure. Let's hear your top 5, man. Okay, number 1, John Jones. 2, GSP. 3, Mighty Mouse. 4, Anderson Silva. Who's number 5? Who's number 5? Who's number 5? Conor McGregor. Definitely Conor McGregor. No. Conor McGregor's number 5. Fuck you guys. It's 100% Conor McGregor. Yeah, maybe Volk or Aldo. I guess that's not. Yeah, I guess. Which current champion do you think is least likely to be on the sauce? Sean O'Malley. I just subbed someone on UFC 5 with a calf slicer. I'm him. You are him. You are him, bum fuzzle. You're him. Yeah, Jose was undefeated for 15 years. That's fair. That's fair, I guess. What the fuck is this list? Oh, I don't know, El Gordo. What would your list be? Is Islam the best judoka in the UFC? I mean, is he the best judoka for MMA? Maybe, but Kayla Harrison, I mean, we went to the Olympics, so you kind of got to put her. Why Jones above GSP? I probably wouldn't. I mean, Jones just never lost, you know? I mean, I probably, if Jones wasn't double champ, I might be more likely to put GSP above him, but since he won the second belt, you kind of gotta put him there. I mean, the only argument I think against Jones being number 1 is the steroids, but I've always maintained I think all fighters should be on steroids. I mean, these guys are getting into a cage and fighting each other on a regular basis. You know how horrible that is for you? I mean, if anybody should be allowed to take substances that's going to help you heal and recover, it should be these guys. It should. So I think it's kind of dumb to be like, oh, he was on steroids. They should all be on steroids. I mean, the only thing stopping them is the public is still very scared about steroids. They're like, oh, steroids, that's so bad for you. I'm like, getting into a cage and fighting other men is a lot worse than taking steroids, as long as you do it responsibly. Remember that GSP had 2 belts too? Yeah. I do remember GSP had 2 belts as well. If Jones didn't have 2 belts, I would be more likely to put GSP above him. Yeah, exactly. Khabib's whole game plan was to make guys tired and then tap them. How do you do that to Tony? I mean, exactly. That's why I think Volkanovski would probably beat Khabib. Superman or Goku? Superman crushes Goku, and I don't think if you disagree with that, respectfully, you're wrong. Respectfully, you're wrong. Why is Conor ahead of Khabib in the GOAT list? Well, Conor was a double champ. Khabib wasn't. If Khabib was double champ, I'd think about it. No Fedor in top 5 GOATs. Oh, I didn't. I mean, Fedor's a bit before my time. Which UFC champion is a legit BJJ black belt? A lot of them. I mean, I don't know what you mean by legit, you know? Have you been in any tournaments? If so, are you making a video about it? Yeah, I've been in a lot of tournaments. I mean, probably not, but I have been in a lot of tournaments. Could Dylan have made it in the UFC? Yes, he could have. I mean, Dylan, you know, I get he's a joke, but legitimately his jiu-jitsu is insane. I mean, he's like world class. I mean, you don't go toe-to-toe with Gordon Ryan and not be ridiculously high level in jiu-jitsu. I mean, I think he could have been a problem, but I know he had that horrible knee injury, and you know, can you grow a full beard like a man? No, I'm still waiting on puberty every day. I have my fingers crossed, but show us the t-shirt Conor signed for you. I can. I'm gonna have to leave the stream again. I have to go get it though. I can do that though. Which UFC champion could beat Elden Ring? That's a good question. One that I was not prepared to answer. Will you use your camera in your next videos because this setup looks clean? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. SARMs or roids? Which are better as PED expert? I'm definitely not a PED expert, but I know enough to have my base opinion. I don't know. I don't think SARMs is good. I don't think. Do you think Islam will enter your GOAT list if he wins double belts? It's possible. That's definitely possible. I don't know if he can, though. What would Charles' game plan have to be to beat Islam and Arman? Just don't hold full guard with your head pressed into the fence. He needs to transition to other... Like, when he was fighting Islam, there was a moment where he attacked Islam's legs, and Islam stood up and ran away. That's what he needs to do. Holding full guard. I mean, what are you gonna get him with? A triangle? They're ready for a triangle. I mean, he did get Arman in that really tight armbar triangle at the very end of round 2, but I just think he needs to transition to other submissions. He can't get stationary from full guard. You look like Gustafsson without the beard and CTE. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. That is very nice of you to say. Which UFC champion is a legit black BJJ belt? That's the wordage there was a little weird. You need to define for me what legit black belt means to you. Like, what does that mean? What does it mean to have a legit black belt? Were you the guy that said half guard is the future of BJJ and MMA? I don't know if I would necessarily say it's the future, but it's better than playing full guard, I think. Like, you look at how Gilbert Burns used that half guard knee shield against Hamzat. It was super effective. Can Gaethje make a comeback? Probably not. I think that's probably it for him. Are you getting wasted tonight? I am currently wasted. What is the best disability for MMA? Autism. Autism is the best disability. I mean, if you like someone who can train consistently for hours and hours and hours, you have to have autism. They should do a 170 to 185 catch weight for Shavkat Hamzat. Dude, I honestly think Hamzat is kind of small for 185. I think if they made a 175 division, Hamzat would be perfect for that weight class. I mean, that 15 pound, that's a huge gap. It's a huge gap. DDP sleeps Chimaev? Honestly, probably. I mean, I think DDP is just way bigger. I mean, I don't know. Weight-wise, maybe they're similar on the scale, but I mean, if you look at their frames, it's a huge difference. Who is winning in a fight, a gorilla or you? It's a good question. Is it a girl gorilla or a boy gorilla? That's your answer. That depends on the answer. Who would win between me and the Weasel? I don't know. What does the Weasel do? So, someone fill me in. What's is the Weasel? Does he train? Is he good? I have no idea. What will be your reaction if Hamzat versus Islam happens at welterweight? That's a tough fight for Islam, I think. That's a real tough fight. Ollie, no. Come here. Oh, man. Man, streaming is hard work. Not really. You with a sledgehammer versus Cheeto. That's a tough fight. Is Charles washed, realistically? No. He is not washed. The Weasel might be a Taekwondo black belt, but he doesn't talk about it very often. Who will win, you versus Lucas Tracy? What do you think? Streaming is harder than a 9 to 5. Prime Charles beats Leon, in my opinion. What do you mean, Prime Charles? Like, what Charles is still in his prime. Nothing has changed about what. I don't. People are weird about that when someone loses. It's like, oh, he's washed. I'm like, oh, that's just it's such a cop out. That's such a cop out when someone loses to be like, oh, well, clearly he must be washed. That's the only explanation. Chimaev never becomes champ. If Chimaev could have consistently made 170 easily, he could have been champ. I mean, he was huge. He was so strong at 170. Bedtime versus you, 5 rounds. I don't know a lot about bed. I don't know. I've heard bedtime trains, but I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty far removed from like being in fight shape. Like that would it would take me some time to get back into that. I mean, Islam is not black belt, Jones is a purple belt, and DC is a brown belt. This is what I mean when I ask which UFC champion is a legit BJJ black belt. All of those guys, skill level wise, are black belts, but if you're going to get your black belt, you have to consistently be showing up and be a member of a gym, you know what I mean, to get your black belt. But like skill wise, they're all black belts. Charles has more tools than Gamrot. I 100% agree. But again, if Charles gets taken down and just grabs full guard with his head in the fence, I mean, I don't know. That's going to be his problem. Bedtime does cardio kickboxing. Okay, well then I would beat the fuck out of Bedtime then. Do you think Charles can beat Islam? Probably not. I have never been KO'd or rocked. I have KO'd somebody before. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could play it on my fight on the stream, but I don't know. Maybe I should make more of an event out of that. I don't know. Like I said, I have multiple fights on YouTube, but I don't think anyone's found them. If you didn't create a YouTube channel, what would you do? I would be a custodian. How many times a week does one need to train BJJ to become decent? I would say minimum of 4 times a week. Have you ever been subbed? In a fight? No. In like training grappling? Yeah. Of course. Everyone has. Who hasn't been subbed ever? But I've never been subbed in a fight, no. What do you think of Shara Magomedov? I think he's pretty solid if he can just get his takedown defense going. How would you do in the UFC? I genuinely, if I would have just never done YouTube and kept fighting, I would have made it to the UFC 100%, but I wouldn't have become champion. I don't think I could have become champ. And if you're not going to become champ, then what's the point? Yo, Shea versus Bedtime is realistically the best YouTube MMA fight ever. I mean, I don't know. If Bedtime does cardio kickboxing, then no. Like, I fought. I actually did do real fights. Dude, is inbreeding the best base for MMA? Of course it is. How does one train BJJ for... Oh, $5? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. How does one train 4 times a week with a 5 to 2? Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Well, again, what do you mean by decent? You know what I mean? I mean, if you can only train twice a week, as long as you're consistent, you'll keep consistently getting better. You just need to consistently... Even if you can only train once a week, just make sure you train every single week. You can't take weeks off then. If you could add any fight you want to UFC 303, what would it be? Any fight? Me versus Lucas Tracy. What does one need to do to become the lightweight GOAT? You need to have done Sambo your entire life, clearly, based on what we've seen so far from the lightweight division. Who do you think beats John Jones? Beats John Jones? Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall probably beats Jones. Chandler's chin is too weak to beat Conor. First of all, there's only one N in Conor, but, I don't know. Lucas is too crafty. I bet. Lucas sure looks crafty. Ugh. Chimaev versus Whitaker, who you got? That actually might be one of my next. I might do like a real in-depth breakdown of Chimaev versus Whitaker. That might be coming out maybe Monday, I think. Being as fast as Volk, so I don't know if Shea can keep up. I mean, Lucas seems like the kind of guy who says a lot of things. He seems like the kind of guy that says a lot of things. And once again, I don't really watch him, but he just kind of seems like he chats a lot of shit. What do you think of Conor's recent training footage? I think he looks pretty good. I mean, everyone makes fun of his whoever he's sparring, but the guy he's sparring, I think Conor's making him look bad. But clearly, the guy's kind of jacked. He's clearly a wrestler. You see him keep trying to shoot, but on the feet, he's just very clearly outmatched. Do you ever watch martial arts YouTubers like Ultimate Self-Defense Championship? I did actually watch the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship. Yeah, I watched the first few episodes of that. I used to watch Fight Tips a long time ago. Favorite sports or hobbies outside of MMA? Pretty much just basketball. I like basketball. Do you think Charles beats prime Conor McGregor? At lightweight? It's such a toss-up. I mean, I don't know. It depends how bad Conor hurts him. I mean, I think, Poirier had hurt Charles pretty bad, but Conor's a lot more accurate. I mean, I think if he caught him right on the edge of the chin, he could have knocked him out. At 145, Conor probably wins. Have you watched the video of 16-year-old Khabib pulling a flying armbar in a Sambo match? I have seen that video. Yes, I have. Charles' chin prevents him from reaching gold. I don't think so. I think it actually helps him because guys typically don't want to go to the ground with him unless you're Islam or Arman. Is that a cat or a microphone? A cat. Thank you. Thank you very much for asking. I like you and Tracy's channel, but I think your knowledge of MMA is actually much better, and I think you're smarter as well. How do I become a member? Well, I appreciate those kind words. I don't know. I think there's a button that says become a channel member. 155 Conor is overrated? No, he's not overrated. Are you joking? Everybody says Conor's washed. How is that? You think that's overrating him? I mean, I think most people don't think Conor's very good. And I think they're wrong, but Is Usman Nurmagomedov better than Khabib and Islam? We're gonna find out. We haven't really seen him fight anybody really good yet, but his style is a fucking nightmare to deal with, though, because he throws kicks so well from the outside, and you close the distance with him, he's gonna shoot on you. So it's like you need to stay in boxing range without getting taken down, which can be kind of hard to do. Would you let Izzy touch your dog? No, Izzy, no. Izzy is not going anywhere near my dog. Are you going to do a parlay video for Whitaker versus Chimaev? I sure will. Least favorite fighter, Raquel Pennington. Would you spar Sean Strickland if you had the chance? Yeah, I mean, he couldn't drop Sneeko, so I am way better than Sneeko is. Your parlay vids are goated. Thank you very much. I work really hard on them. Thank you very much. How is Strickland washed? He's not. Charles versus Leon, thoughts? That's a tough fight for Charles. That's a tough fight for Charles right there. Shavkat versus Leon, who's winning? I don't know. It's another one I'm going to have to really sit down and look at and see all the little mechanics of what each guy does. Because, I mean, Leon is going to be the way better striker, but it's just Shavkat's top pressure is very, very good. It's insane. Are you Mexican? Do I look Mexican? Could you knock Sneeko out cold? Yes. Yes, I can. If you had to bet the house on an upcoming fight, what would that be? If I had to bet the house on an upcoming fight, I don't know. Let's see. I'd have to look. I don't like throwing my predictions around willy-nilly. I take a lot of pride in my predictions. I'd have to look. JDM versus Shavkat. Honestly, that might be a tough fight for JDM. Major respect for him calling for it, but that's a tough fight. That's a super tough fight. Shavkat's just so big and do that Dagestani top. I mean, he's not Dagestani, but I guess I should say Sambo top pressure is fucking brutal. Fighters with wrestling backgrounds are going to struggle to compete at a high level in a few years. from ever fighter becoming more rounded. Strikers only needed to learn defensive wrestling. Well, when you watch, like wrestling at the highest level, you rarely ever see pins. Rarely ever. Like, guys never go flat on their backs. It's way too hard. Like, guys, you have to win by points. And what you're seeing now in MMA is strikers are getting to a high enough level in wrestling that they're not getting put flat on their backs. So, and on top of that, the scoring criteria it favors striking, to be honest. Well, I would say, honestly, it favors striking in jiu-jitsu, to be honest, because you need to put your opponent in danger. That is what the scoring criteria is looking for. Just putting someone on their back is not necessarily putting them in danger. Thoughts on Peyton Talbot? He's a beast. He's a beast. That guy's really, really good. I mean, the guy he was fighting, though, Cameron Simon, he just needs a good, like, strength and conditioning program. He just seems physically very, like, he's not, I mean, Peyton just seems so much more filled out. He was not worried about Simon's power at all, which is really going to help you just time your shots better. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but I think Talbot is really, really good. Hamzat versus Habib. Hamzat will probably win that. Is it unreasonable to say JDM could KO Shavkat? I mean, not with a punch, I don't think. Probably not with a punch. Unless he catches him with a knee again. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's just like Gilbert Burns was doing really well on the ground with JDM, but JDM has some real slick transitions to get back up to his feet, but Shavkat is just going to try to smash you. Like, he doesn't really leave much room for scrambles. That's what I'm worried about. Where are your Taekwondo trophies? They're in a few museums, I think. Like I said, I was a Taekwondo prodigy. I've donated a lot of my stuff to, like certain martial arts museums and things like that. You should play UFC 5. Do they have UFC 5 on a PlayStation 4? Because I don't have a PlayStation 5. So I don't know how I would do that. Can't like Shavkat after he held Wonderboy against the cage for a round and a half. Yeah, I know. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how else you fight. I do not know how else you fight Wonderboy effectively, but yeah, I agree. Does Song Yadong have the potential to win the title? I don't think so. Okay. Do you think MMA is a sport you can grasp the difficulty of until you do it? So many of my friends think NBA and NFL players could easily switch over and be champion. I don't know how to explain that it's not easy. Well, I think when a lot of people say that like NFL players could be insane in the UFC, I think like if they started when they were young, like if that kind of caliber of athlete started training MMA out of high school, yeah. But like a 28-year-old NFL player isn't going to just slide into the UFC. But if that level of athlete began training at a young age, I think is what most people mean by that. How will Habib do against top 5 lightweights today? I think he gets whooped by Arman and Charles. Now, I don't think he gets whooped by those guys, but I think they would give him tougher fights. The reason why Habib gets so much hype and everyone thinks he's invincible is because he fought Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and, Justin Gaethje. 3 very good matchups. I mean, I think he'd probably... I don't know, Arman could be a tough matchup for him, to be honest, but I think Habib's striking it's a bit underrated. I don't know. Point is, I just think they would give him some problems. And all of a sudden, Habib isn't fucking God anymore. You know what I mean? The main reason an NFL player would do well in the UFC is they already have CTE. True. He never fought other wrestlers. Yeah, I mean, not really. Not really. I mean, you see a lot of videos, right? There's one on YouTube that's like, oh, Islam versus D1 wrestler, and it's Islam smashing the guy. I forget what his name is. But, like, Habib and Islam were Sambo world champions, right? Like, yeah, if they're fighting some average D1 wrestler, they should be a lot better. I mean, give him an NCAA champion. Give him someone to the level of, like, Bo Nickel, for example. And that would be interesting. But like an average D1 guy, like, yeah, they were world champions at Sambo. They should win. Gamrot, even Beneil is a bad matchup for him. Yeah, I mean, I just think Habib would have... he would have struggled against those guys, and all of a sudden he's not God anymore. But he probably still would have won, I'd say. Khabib had an iron chin too, though. I mean, not necessarily. I think Khabib, it's hard to hit him. I think that's a real underrated aspect of Khabib's game, was he was not easy to hit by any means. Why does Bo Nickel get so much hype? I mean, he was a U23 world champion in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty legit accolade. Though I will say, I think a problem Bo may have, he's a pretty small 185er. I mean, Hamzat at 170 was so huge and so strong, but Bo Nickel hit up Craig Jones asking if he could compete in the CJI, and Bo said he could make 175 pounds. That's 10 pounds below where he's fighting at. And, you know, anyone who says strength and size doesn't matter in wrestling are crazy. I mean, that's why I think there were certain transitions against Cody Brundage where you really saw that Bo was not as strong as he was. Khabib was never a Sambo world champion. He won national once. Khabib was not that great in Sambo. And if Sambo guy beats a wrestler, you got a shitty W? Maybe. I'd have to fact check that. I mean, maybe. I've always heard he was a Sambo world champion, but I don't know. Imagine Bo at welterweight. I mean, he might be able to make welterweight. I mean, like I said, I don't think he walks around heavier than 200 pounds, which is what Leon Edwards walks around at. Leon versus Islam. Who are you betting on? Leon. You versus the Weasel at UFC 303. I don't know what I don't know. I'd have to see what the Weasel does. I don't know if he's any good or not. What game plan should Stipe follow against Jones? Get into boxing range. That's Jones's one issue. He doesn't have a lot of power. His pure boxing isn't amazing. So that's what he just needs to get into boxing range, just like Gustafsson did, just like Dominic Reyes did. Khabib versus Volk. I got Volk. I think Khabib was better than Islam at holding people down because he has that kind of folk style kind of top pressure. But for Khabib to be able to push Volkanovski into the fence, that's going to be really hard to do because Volk's so quick. His striking so much better. Stipe should eye poke Jones until he gets DQ'd. That's not a bad strategy. Did Whitaker get robbed in the second Adesanya fight? From my memory, it was close. I don't know if I would say it was a robbery. It was close. I think you could have made an argument for Whitaker to win. When is the Lucas Tracy fight? Ask Lucas Tracy. I mean, he never responded to the call out for a reason. Well, he did respond to the call out. The day after I posted my video, as soon as he started live streaming, everybody was asking him to comment on my call out, and he just goes, no comment. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, what's he going to say? He's going to beat me in a fight? No, he can't. What is your height and your weight? About 6'2", 180 pounds. What does Charles need to do to become a lightweight GOAT? Beat Islam and then rematch Arman and beat him. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what he'd have to do. Islam is second after the GOAT Khabib. That is certainly something you can say, for sure. DDP Hamzat. I got DDP, to be honest. I think DDP is way bigger and way stronger. Vettori versus Max, best chin in the UFC. I mean, Max has been caught clean quite a few, really clean quite a few times. I would probably say his chin is more tested. What does Islam have to do to be the GOAT? He needs to win a second belt, maybe defend the belt. He needs to beat Arman and then win a second belt to be in the conversation. Cheeto Vera way better. See, I mean, I don't know. I think Cheeto, he doesn't get hit clean on the chin. What's your walkout song? Sweet Victory from the SpongeBob episode where they're the marching band and the song they sing at the end? That was always my walkout song. Can Max beat Ilya? Yeah, I would say so. He just needs to stay out of range. He just needs to stay on the outside. I would be throwing a lot of kicks if I was Max. Bro really said Sweet Victory is from SpongeBob. Is it not from SpongeBob? I mean, that's what I always thought. Goated walkout. Thank you. I know everyone loved it when I'd walk out to that. Diego Lopez. Did I beat Mosvar? Yeah, you did. You did. As far as the judging criteria, who put who in more danger, you clearly did, Diego. Do you like Dagestan fighters? I respect them. Do I like them? No. $50 if you show your MMA fights. If you donate it, I'll think about it. Remember, my MMA fight was a smoker, though. It was just a smoker. It wasn't like a sanctioned amateur fight. Sean O'Malley versus Paddy Pimblett at 155. Man, that's an interesting one. I mean, I think Paddy's grappling is genuinely pretty good, but he doesn't. I have not seen him shoot like a traditional single or double leg in the UFC, except for round 3 against Tony. That was the only time I've seen him shoot like an actual takedown. Other than that, he doesn't even try to take the fight to the ground. Whose guard is better, Musumeci or Oliveira? Musumeci. Musumeci's is way better. Yeah, talk about autism. Talk about how autism can really help you in combat sports. Just look at Musumeci. Why isn't DC in your GOAT list? He is a double champ as well. That's a fair point, but as you guys know, I hate DC. I hate his commentary. What sports did you play in high school? I played soccer. Imagine having Dylan Dennis as your profile and now you can't change it. Yeah, I'm stuck. I'm stuck with Dylan. Batman 155 versus heavyweight John Jones. Batman does not weigh 155 pounds. I mean, I think if you play the Arkham games and you look at his profile, it says like 220. I'm 13 and trained BJJ for 2 years. Do I beat Sneeko in MMA, be honest? Probably. Ollie, no. I'm surprised you're 13 because my demographic, it says only 1.3% of my audience is 13 to 17. So, you're one of the few. Could Dylan Dennis come back with a really good coach like Trevor? I don't know. I mean, dude, he lost a lot of years with his knee injury. I think it's the problem. He lost a lot. Imagine thinking, everyone makes fun of Dylan Dennis for not fighting. There's a lot of things you can make fun of Dylan Dennis for. The truth is, though, he really did. He had a catastrophic knee injury, and then he got surgery on it, and the surgery failed, and he had to get another surgery. That's why he was out for like 4 years. So he lost a lot of time, so probably not, but no 13-year-old put 13 as their age. That's actually a really good point. No 13-year-old puts 13 as their age. That's a very good point. You see the DC versus Jones phone call? I did. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a clip of it. I don't know. Did anything actually interesting happen? Do you also hate that these Muslim fighters don't want to fight each other, like Bilal and Islam, maybe Shavkat and Islam? I don't know. Would Islam not fight Bilal? Because Islam made it sound like he's moving up no matter what. Dylan ducked KSI of all people. Sure, well, that isn't a boxing match, though. That isn't a boxing match, to be fair. I mean, Dylan should not have been boxing. Can Joe Rogan beat Ronda Rousey in a fight? Prime Joe Rogan? Yeah. Yo, Shay, do you follow the grappling world closely? If so, have you seen Cade Rotolo's MMA debut, and what'd you think about it? I did. I was watching his MMA debut. I was very excited for that. I kind of assumed the guy he was fighting was going to be a complete can, but he was actually not bad. But On the feet, Cade looked a little nervous. You know, a little. I don't know. His striking definitely could use some work, but he's only 21 years old. I mean, I think his potential in MMA is insane. I think his jiu-jitsu could translate perfectly to MMA because his cardio is through the roof. His wrestling is really high level. Like, he jumps on submissions. Like, he'll jump on them. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see him keep fighting. When will Muslim women fight? As soon as they're allowed to have an education. Is Khabib's father a top 5 MMA coach? No. No, he's not. If Batman weighed 155 pounds versus heavyweight John Jones, I think Batman. I don't think any real person's beating Batman. Jiu-jitsu isn't real. That's why Armin win. Man, that's tough to argue that logic. Khabib wasn't even good before Daniel Cormier started coaching him, a.k.a. made Khabib, not Eagle Team. Yeah. Who is the best submission artist in the UFC currently after Charles? Brian Ortega, I would say. Yeah, pure submissions. Musa Mechi calf slicer last night was legit. I know, and against a guy that beat him last time they grappled. Gabe Souza, I think he beat Musa Mechi with a north-south choke. So, I'm excited for Musa Mechi versus Cade. That'll be interesting for a grappling match. That'll be really, really interesting. You think Bilal will beat Leon? God, I hope not. I mean, no, but crazier things have happened. Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje versus Eddie Hall. Oh, they would destroy Eddie Hall. I'm telling you, 3 calf kicks on Eddie Hall, he'd be done. He'd be done. I'm 19, 5'10", and 170 pounds. Do you think if I put on more muscle, I can compete at heavyweight? No. An Aikido guy talking about fighting, LMAO. Aikido is fighting. Aikido is fighting, dude. I mean, if you don't know that, I mean, I don't know how to. I mean, dude, Aikido's legit. Would you go Plata Lucas Tracy to prove jiu-jitsu works? I would fucking buggy choke Lucas Tracy from the mount. That's what I would do. Yes, exactly. Eddie got calf kicked by a 10-year-old and couldn't take it. Yes, 100%. How much do you weigh? I probably answered that question like 25 times. Can prime Bruce Lee become a UFC champion? I mean, yeah, if he was like born in the modern era and was training other martial arts, yeah. I mean, not with the skill set he had back then. Of course not. Gamrot versus Dubronx, who you got? I mean, I think Charles should win, but again, I mean, is he gonna just stick? Is he just gonna grab full guard with his head pressed up into the fence? If he does that, he's kind of giving Gamrot a shot to win, but as long as he, you know, just keeps looking for scrambles and keeps attacking submissions, he should win, and he should be a lot better on the feet. You versus one-handed Islam. That's actually, it might be a closer fight than you think. That might be a closer fight than you think. Gamrot mushes him. I mean, he could. I think Charles overall is more skillful. How taxing is jiu-jitsu on the body? Jiu-jitsu is horrible for your body. I popped a rib yesterday training. Charles can't fight wrestlers. What about Kevin Lee? Who freaking smashed Edson Barbosa? Shay, do you play 2K? I used to. I used to play a lot of 2K. Gamrot versus Islam. Who are you betting on? Islam all day. Islam all day. You know, one thing I will say, a lot of people like assume, like I hear that a lot. A lot of people go, oh, Shay is a jiu-jitsu guy. I do jiu-jitsu. I don't know if I would say I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, I've trained other martial arts too. One-handed Batman versus Islam at 155. These are the questions that I'm looking for. Batman, are you in school? No. Why would I be in school? What does school do for me for making YouTube videos? How on earth do you think Oliveira was robbed against Armin? I wouldn't say Oliveira was robbed, but I don't think, if you look at the judging criteria, it clearly favors actions that put your opponent in danger. That's what it says. It's who's getting closer to finishing the fight. Armin didn't, in round 3, round 2, he landed some monster elbows. Like 100%, he won round 2. Round 1 was pretty close, but round 3, I think that submission attempt at the end easily was the closest thing that could have potentially ended that fight. So I think you could make I think Charles, based on the criteria, should have got the decision. It wasn't a robbery, though. I mean, it was a very, very close fight. Where do you think Leon beats Islam? In the striking? I mean, in the grappling, that's not an easy fight for Islam because Leon's a lot bigger. 20 Tom Aspinalls versus 1 Gorilla. I got 20 Tom Aspinalls, but some of those Aspinalls are going to die. He got out-damaged round 3. A little bit. I don't know why you say that as if it means anything, but I think he overall did do a bit more damage, but not a lot of damage. Very few of his strikes landed very cleanly. But Armin was never really in danger. Charles held the choke for 25 seconds, yet Armin popped up. Yeah, he wasn't going to go to sleep. That doesn't mean he wasn't getting choked. Yeah, that was another one that was really funny. So many people were saying, oh, that choke wasn't even in. If it was in, he would have gone to sleep. I mean, tell me you've never been choked without telling me you've never been choked. There's definitely a spectrum of how tight submissions are. Armin was 100% getting choked. 10,000% getting choked. To simply say, oh, it wasn't in. It was in. He wasn't going to finish him from that position, but that was 100% in. And that is worth more than Armin just being on top of him. Like I said, I'm not trying to say that fight was a horrible robbery. I'm not upset about Armin winning. I just think based on the judging criteria that we're supposed to follow, technically you should give it to Charles. But, it's all right. A very, very close fight. He landed the better strikes also, he overall landed more strikes. Yes, but none of his strikes landed super cleanly. I don't know, that one was just, that decision in particular, people just don't want to accept reality. If you read the judging criteria that we're supposed to follow, then it says very clearly who is putting their opponent in more danger. Well, Charles, round 3, did put him in more danger. Not catch a leg while doing that, Darce. Yeah, I think Charles should have tried to at least pull guard with the Darce or something. Try to roll or something. I think he could have done better with the Darce. Thoughts on Islam top pressure, because Dustin went to sleep pretty fast and Oliveira tapped very fast. As long as Islam jumped to full guard from half guard. Yeah, Islam is fucking, he's like, you see his fucking back muscles, dude. It's insane. He's so strong. Pantoja or Eddie Hall? That's an interesting one. Pantoja should beat Eddie Hall pretty easily. Armin was popping Oliveira's head back with a jab in round 3. Yeah, I think he definitely landed some jabs. For sure. I don't know what you're trying to say with that, but he did. Who's better, Alex Pereira's wrestling, or Hamzat's standing? I would say Hamzat's standing is better than Alex Pereira's wrestling. Though Pereira's wrestling's not bad. There's one clip. Remember when he took down Adesanya and Daniel Cormier goes, oh, that's a weird takedown. What a weird takedown. That wasn't a weird takedown at all. That was actually a pretty decent takedown. Pereira picked up the single leg. He was driving Adesanya back. Then he cut the angle to take him down. It was a good takedown. I mean, it wasn't the most fluid, obviously, but it was a good takedown. DC is just a hater. It's a round-by-round scoring, so I get why that alone didn't win the fight, but I agree it was the closest the fight ever came to ending. Maybe full fight scoring allows Charles to win that fight. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a... I'm not going to say it's a robbery, but, you know, people just don't want to accept reality with that fight. Thoughts on Umar Nurmagomedov? He fucking is a monster. Will Conor fight at 303? I think so. I mean, I don't know. Probably. Grow your hair out and get dreads. I do not want to culturally appropriate anybody, but that fight wasn't close to ending, though. Laughing face. Once again, yeah, it's tough to argue with facts. Ilya versus O'Malley would be sick. You don't want to accept the fact that Darce wasn't threatening. Let me put you in that exact Darce, and let's see how well you do. Ilya versus O'Malley would be interesting because, I mean, I just think, once again, the strategy to beat a pure boxer is don't box. And I think Sean could do that in that matchup, but we'll see. Could Charles Oliveira be an ADCC champ? No. No, he cannot. Are you and Flukas Glacy twins? No, that's just racism. We're both white, but that's about it. Who should Charles fight next? I would love to see Charles fight Renato Moicano. I think that'd be a really, really sick fight. But isn't Renato, didn't he get matched up with somebody already? Yeah, I have seen the footage of Pereira sparring Tai. I think Tai is one of those guys I think Pereira could theoretically beat. But he's not beating Tom Aspinall, no way. Ilya has really good wrestling and subs, though. He hasn't really used it in the UFC, but if O'Malley forced him, how do you think that would go? Yeah, he does have really good... I mean, yeah, if it went to the ground, it'd be interesting, but I just think O'Malley's movement makes it difficult to take him down. Like, it's not as simple as just shooting a bad shot. You know what I mean? I think his movement makes him really hard to shoot a good takedown against. Thoughts on Alex Pereira's calf kick? I don't want to get calf kicked by him. Who's more attractive, MMA Guru or Lucas Tracy? Probably Lucas Tracy. I think Lucas Tracy's pretty attractive. What would you change in the UFC rule set? 12 to 6 elbow. The 12 to 6 elbow is so stupid. If you got position on Tai, would you sub him? What is there to sub? I mean, dude, that guy doesn't have any limbs. Whoa, Nate is back. What's up, Nate? I'm back. Did heavy squats, deadlifts, and bag work? What's happening? Nothing really. Nothing really. Nothing in particular. Thoughts on Cade Rotolo's MMA debut? I think Cade can be a real problem in MMA. He should stick with... I mean, Cade is already an ADCC champion. He won it at 20... like 20 years old. Like, he should just go MMA full time. What do you think about Joe Rogan's commentary? I think Joe Rogan has been grandfathered into the UFC, so that's why he's still there. But like, the fact of the matter is, Joe has a lot of other stuff going on. He's not like that immersed in MMA anymore, and I don't like his commentary. I'll be honest. I think he says a lot of dumb stuff. Like at UFC 302, I forget which fight it was, but Joe said himself on a live UFC broadcast. He goes, this is a tough fight to score, but you gotta think about the control time. What how do you say that as you're on live telecast as a UFC commentator and you don't understand the judging criteria? Like, he's never bothered to even look at it before. It infuriates me. I hate Joe Rogan and I hate Daniel Cormier. I hate him. I think the best commentators are Felder and Bisping. I don't have a lot of problems with them. Prime Jones versus Prime Ankalaev. Prime Jones. Prime Jones wins that. Just saw a video of Dana making Usman versus Shavkat? No way. Bisping, really? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the only people I ever fucking... yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. No, Joe was a good commentator back in the day. I just think he's got a lot of stuff going on, and he's not super immersed in MMA anymore. Like, even you listen to his podcast, and there's a lot of things I don't know. There's a lot of things he says that's just kind of... I don't know. To be honest, I was a huge fan of Joe Rogan for a long time, like listening to his podcast, but he's kind of red-pilled now. I don't know. The thing I always liked about Joe Rogan was he was very impartial, but now he seems like he's like very indoctrinated into that like Jordan Peterson kind of fucking world, you know what I mean? Which isn't necessarily a problem. I just feel like he is reiterating a lot of points. Can you be a UFC champ with your Aikido base? No, I think I would have fell short of being a champion. To be honest, but... Prime Joe versus Prime Dana. I don't think Dana's got it. I don't think Dana stands a shot. You versus DC in UFC 5, who wins? I would destroy DC in UFC 5. If Mighty Mouse and John Jones both transformed and became 5'10" and kept their respective reach in their height, who wins? I mean, Mighty Mouse, I think overall was more skilled. I think Mighty Mouse could do all of it. I think he could exploit John Jones's weakness in boxing range, to be honest. And I think he would be able to hang in there in the wrestling. I think Mighty Mouse takes that. Aikido is too lethal for the UFC. That's what I've been saying for a long, long time. Could you beat Steven Seagal? No. Steven Seagal, his Aikido's on another level, man. His Aikido's on another level. Who do you think the best UFC coach is? I don't know. I really don't know. I like Tim Welch. I think Tim Welch is a fucking really good coach. I mean, look, a lot of times... like, having a good coach is pivotal, but it's only going to take you so far. Like, even the best coach in the world can't coach, you know. You need the athlete is the most important thing in that equation, to be honest. That's just a fact. What belt are you in BJJ? I am a purple belt. Thoughts on the new gloves? I fucking hate the new gloves. I fucking hate them. I mean... Trevor Whitman's gloves are so much more superior. And I don't know why. I don't know. It's so stupid. What changed with the new gloves other than the fucking colors? Those yellow gloves look horrible. I do not like them at all. The logo for the gloves should be gold, not the whole glove. I hate it. Who do you think is the most sexy ring girl in the UFC? I don't fucking know their names. Do you think Robert can stop Chimaev? I think he's capable of it for sure. What would the odds be for Jones Aspinall? The odds should be Aspinall minus 200. The golden gloves look cheap as fuck. I completely agree. There's padding on the wrist where there wasn't before, and they apparently allow fighters to block certain shots better. All right. I mean, that seems like that was not the issue, but okay. They can block shots a bit better. The eye pokes is what we need to fix. Megan O'Leary or Laura Sanko? I think Laura Sanko's a better commentator, by far. Uriah Faber would make a fine ring girl. I agree. I mean, who looks better? No comment. No comment. No comment on who looks better. What do you think is better, Muay Thai or karate? They have their plus or minuses. I think the athlete is more important than the martial art. You know, kind of a basic answer, but I think that's true. Shay's weaseling out of my softball question. Man, hey, you don't know what kind of commitments I have. I gotta kind of, those kind of questions are off limits. I love you, Nate. I love you, man. Oh, thank you for the $2, man. Gonna do any videos for fight nights or just the UFC? Yeah, I will eventually do my. I mean, I'll probably do a video for the fight night tonight if anything interesting happens. As far as like full card breakdowns for the fight nights, I'll get to it. I've only done I started doing full card breakdowns for $199 or $299. I've only done like 3. I'm getting better at making them, but God, they take a long time. Respect for you being loyal to your woman or fella. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Who's hotter, your girlfriend or the Shevchenko sisters at the same time? What does that mean? Eye pokes are always going to be a thing, man. Yeah, of course, but we can try something. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you're not going to completely get rid of eye pokes, but that's a real problem. Eye pokes happen all the time. That should be issue number 1 we're trying to fix, is let's see if we can do something about eye pokes. But instead, they gave us some more padding on the wrist and colors. Thoughts on Billy Corantillo? He's a friend of mine. That's pretty cool. I remember watching him on The Ultimate Fighter on Connor's season, but other than that, I mean, dude, he's solid. He's solid. I can't say I'm the most knowledgeable on him. Captain America 145 versus heavyweight John Jones. Explorer, I love these questions, man. You only have to type it once. I see them. Yeah, Captain America. What mic do you use? This one. This one right here. It costed me like $30, I think. It's like the Snowball or something, I think it's called. MMA in 16-ounce gloves. No eye pokes. Yeah, there you go. What weight do you fight at? When I fought Muay Thai, I fought at 160. No gloves. GSP versus Hamzat? Oh, dude, the thing is, GSP would be a 155er if he fought today. Hamzat couldn't make 170, so he's way bigger. That's a really interesting fight. It's a really, really interesting fight. I'd love to see it. I mean, I'd probably honestly might lean towards Hamzat. But I don't know, because Hamzat's cardio, he goes too hard in the beginning. I think if GSP can weather that first round storm, which he probably could, GSP would win. Who is your MMA GOAT aside from Charles? John Jones. Easily. MMA shave for the 160-pound belt. I don't weigh 160 anymore. I do not weigh 160 anymore. Hamzat is too big for GSP. Come on. Well, GSP did win the title at 185 if he bulked up. Thoughts on my mom telling everyone I do karate when I do jiu-jitsu? Just embrace it, man. Just embrace it. Like, yeah, I do karate. I'm fucking really good at karate. I have a really good fucking karate chop. That's what I would say. What's more important, height or weight? For the UFC, height is very important, but your weight overall, I would say. Guys should start kneeling, laying prayers on the ground, and take the loss to make the sport better. Yeah, that would be cool. Chael Sonnen versus Khabib. Oh, Chael Sonnen's winning that, 100%. Chael Sonnen's winning that. And that's another thing too, right? There's all those videos of Khabib like grappling Luke Rockhold, right? And Khabib has him in side control, and clearly Luke is really struggling. But you never see them in a neutral position. Like, yeah, if you get somebody pinned in side control, yeah, that's going to be really hard to get them off you if they're like fully locked in. But there's a reason why there aren't any videos of them grappling from a neutral position. It's always Khabib fully pinning him. Like, it's going to be hard. Even if someone's never trained before and you just tell them to bear hug you from side control with everything they have, it's not going to be easy to get up. Like, let alone if Khabib is doing it. But if Chael Sonnen walk around over 200 pounds against lightweight Khabib, would win. You should go live for the fight night today. See, I thought about it, but, I mean, isn't just everybody going to watch Guru? I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is my first time ever live streaming, so I don't know. Cade versus Islam, submission grappling, who wins? That's the dumbest question I've ever heard. Cade would destroy Islam in a submission grappling match. Like, that would not be fair. Collab with Guru? I don't know why Guru would want to collab with me. I mean, why? What would that? I mean, I don't know what that's doing for him. I mean, his audience is like quadruple mine. He's been doing YouTube for like 6 years. I've been doing it just about a year. How much does your gym/coach matter in your career? It matters a lot, for sure. But it matters a lot. But if your skills really are world class, then it doesn't, you can get away with not having the best coach, for sure. But it matters, for sure. I just got a membership. It would be weird for me to not watch if you did a fight companion. Just me and you, bumfuzzle. Just me and you here hanging out. Would you ever spar with a subscriber? I guess. I don't know how I would arrange that, but I guess. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting this many people to watch, to be honest. You with a gun and one bullet versus Mike Tyson versus Harry Potter. That would be a tough one. Harry Potter would probably fuck us both up. Wait, Shay, how old are you? Take a guess. Take a guess, Nate. UFC versus 1. UFC. Duh. Good guess, Nate. I'm 23. 16. No, I'm not 16. You should do more streams for real. Tired of watching Lucas Tracy's arrogant ass and Guru makes political comments about the Brown Bears. No, yeah, I'll definitely stream more for sure. I mean, this is fun. I didn't know how it was going to be streaming, but it's fun. I like it. If Sambo was easy, it would be called sitting on your couch, drinking beer, and eating nachos. I agree, man. Bro, I just turned 24. I feel like I'm behind on my martial arts progress now. LOL. Nah, Nate, you can catch up. You gotta hop on gear, dude. Like me. Or big toe sprains for wrestling and BJJ. I did dislocate my toe once while training, but I popped my rib yesterday training, and it's fucking brutal. Other than that, I haven't had a lot of injuries. I did sprain my MCL, and it took forever to heal. But other than that, I've been okay, thankfully. Muay Thai plus Judo plus BJJ. Is it a good base for MMA? Kinda. I mean, I think Judo is a really good supplement for MMA, but it can be kind of difficult to impose Judo on your opponent. You know what I mean? Like, wrestling's better because you can shoot a takedown, and they have to defend it. But for Judo to work, you got to clinch up, which someone can avoid pretty easily. Yes, MMA Shay, yes or no? Is MMA Shay, yes or no? Jones is so on the Stipe fight as a warm-up to see where he at to know if he should challenge Tom. I mean, I just think... I'm telling you, Tom Aspinall is a terrible matchup for John Jones. Like, John Jones' problem is guys he can't take down with really good boxing. That literally is Tom Aspinall. I've been dealing with turf toe for the last month or so, and I had to take time off. Otherwise, the pain's excruciating anytime I shoot or put pressure on it. Yeah, I imagine. I imagine that's tough. HGH will really help you heal. So I'd hop on that. If you had one arm, could you still beat Lucas Tracy? Yes. Yeah, you could hog tie me, and I would still beat Lucas Tracy. Judo versus wrestling, which is better for takedowns? Wrestling. I mean, I think to supplement judo on top of your wrestling is really, really good, but judo all by itself kind of has some limitations. I'm about to cycle BPC 157 because that helped with my arm pop. Nice. Izzy probably smokes him in the first while DDP charges in. But here's the thing, right? The reason why DDP was charging Sean Strickland was because Sean Strickland wasn't countering him for these huge misses. But when DDP fought Robert Whittaker, he wasn't just marching at him with crazy big shots. You know what I mean? So I think if DDP fought Adesanya, he wouldn't be as reckless. I mean, why would he be? It'd be so stupid. He would try to stay a lot more defensively safe, and he would try to wrestle a lot. What are judo's limitations? It's just tough. In order to hit a throw, you need to clinch up with somebody. But if they just keep disengaging your clinch, like you need to try to find a way to close the distance with judo. And it can be difficult if they don't want to clinch up with you. But if you shoot a double leg, guys don't really have a choice. They have to defend your takedown, and then you can clinch up. All I can do is striking right now, but I was supposed to get my blue this year. Hey, it's all right. I mean, if it's better to sandbag. You know what I mean? I was a blue belt for like 5 years. Like, I think it's like skill-wise, I've been a purple belt for the last like 2.5 years. So, it's better to sandbag, I think. Who is the best UFC striker ever? It's a good question. Honestly, probably Alex Pereira. I mean, if you're judging 100% skill, Israel Adesanya, but as far as effectiveness, Alex Pereira. Do you know any UFC fighters personally? I train with Blake Builder. Me and Blake Builder train at the same gym. But he's kind of lower level. I mean, he just got to the UFC. I did train with Jalen Turner once, and I triangled him. I have no proof of that, but I really did it. Friends or The Office? I've never seen The Office. When you dropping Shea Cell merch? You betting tonight? No, I'm not betting tonight. Shea Cell merch. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a T-shirt with just like a yearbook picture of me, like in that kind of style. Just big on the front. Maybe that. Do you like Seinfeld? I've never seen Seinfeld. I know. I'm so uncultured. Most entertaining fight you would love to see. Most entertaining fight. God, I don't know. Man, there's a lot. Alex Pereira versus Dricus, I think would be sick. MMA influencer battle happening when? That would be cool. I would be the first one to sign up if there was like MMA YouTuber fights. How long have you been striking versus grappling? I started grappling when I was 18, so I've been grappling about 5.5 years. And striking, like I said, I did Taekwondo as a kid. I never talk about it much, but I did Taekwondo as a kid, and I started doing Muay Thai at 18 as well. Oliveira trained by Craig Jones is a monster. He could be. I think if Charles got better at attacking the legs, there's a lot of untapped potential for jiu-jitsu and MMA. But because I mean, dude, like right now, like the best guys in the world at like that 80cc level, they're fucking insane. But not a lot of them are transferring to MMA. If I get charged on stage, that's smart. Just fucking land that elbow as soon as they're charging you. That'd be sick. You can ban people for spam. Yeah, I know. Fucking Richard Empire, dude. Relax with these big fucking orange bubbles, dude. Me and my friends try to take each other down and practice it without knowing any technique. Are we going anywhere in skills? I mean, at the very least, you could, like, maybe YouTube some takedowns and drill a little bit. BJJ guys are too cowardly these days. No man there. I mean, that might have something to do with it. I just think that guys can make a lot of money now just doing jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Nicky Rod would wrestle fuck a lot of the heavyweight division. But why would he? He makes really, really good money not getting punched in the face, risking a CTE. You know? What if Victor Wembanyama trained MMA? I don't know. I have no idea. Jake Gerber. Oh, hey, what's up, man? I've seen your videos around. I like your videos, Jake. I like your videos a lot. Do you think Nicky Rod is natty like he claims? Before he did the more plates, more dates drug test, I would have said no. He's not natty. No way. But he did the impromptu drug test. I mean, for starters, let me clarify. Drug tests are not a very good way to tell if someone's on steroids or not. The reason why I sort of trust this one is because it was like set up with a day's notice. More plates, more dates, hit up Nicky Rod and asked him to get a drug test the next morning. That's kind of hard to get around. But if you know a drug test is coming, that is absolutely zero. There's no way. There's no way. Is Bo Nickel a future champion? He could be. He could be. I think he's small for 185. And I think he could run into some, like, skillfully, no one's on his level when it comes to wrestling, but I think he's kind of small for 185. One thing that's funny, the last time I talked about Bo Nickel in a video, it was my video titled, Why American Wrestling is the Best for MMA. And after he fought Cody Brundage and kind of struggled a little bit, so many people in the comments were like, oh, look at this. What were you saying about American wrestling? Like, and I was like, dude, you know Cody Brundage is an American wrestler, right? Shay, would you beat Charles if you had 10 arms? Where are my arms at? Like, just like I'm a fucking spider? Like, it's just like I don't know. Maybe. If you had to choose between being stuck in a room with drunken John Jones or being in the same room with an angry black bear, I am not anything else than being in that room with John Jones. Like, John Jones would definitely assault me in ways I wouldn't like. A black bear, I think I can handle. What is the most money you've made betting UFC? I didn't start betting until I started doing the full card breakdowns. And my very first one, I turned $25 into $600. And I should have won the last one at UFC 302. I should have won 302 and 301 as well, but I choked. I went 9 for 10 on picks for both of those cards. Can you ban this guy? Which one? Yeah, Richard Empire. I don't know. How do you ban people? Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to ban Richard Empire. I don't know how. It's my problem. I've never streamed before. How the fuck do I do this? I don't know. I'm clicking on his username, but nothing's happening. Richard Empire, I'll tell you what. You're lucky I don't know what I'm doing, but if you can just stop with the fucking soccer balls, I won't ban you. Give me mod. I know how. I don't know about that. Yeah, Richard. Okay. All right. Just type normally in the chat, bro, and then I won't ban you. If not, Nate, are you still here? I'm gonna make you a mod, and maybe you can ban him. Do you think Sodiq Yusuff is washed? Well, obviously, because he lost his last fight, so clearly he has to be washed, right? Is it too late to become a pro if I started training at 15? No. Nate, I'm going to make you a mod. Okay, you know what? After this stream, I will research how to do that, and then I will get back to you on that one, guys. Just answer me, bro. Dude, I'm avoiding your shit on purpose because you're blowing up the chat. No, being 15 years old is a very good age to start training. It's a very, very good age. To be honest, MMA is one of the few sports that it's actually beneficial to start later in life because, like, let's say you've done Muay Thai your entire life, like from age 5 all the way to age 18. your muscle memory is so tuned into that like Muay Thai movement, it's going to be hard for you to adjust to MMA, where a lot of that stuff doesn't work. The stance doesn't work. The high guard doesn't work. That's why it's almost better to start training later, you know? Conor versus Chandler, who's winning? I mean, Conor should win. He should win, and it shouldn't be close. But it depends if Conor's washed or not. We're gonna find out soon enough if Conor's washed. But skill for skill, Conor should be a lot better. Should Dominic Reyes retire? He should, but I mean, what else is he gonna do? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what other career paths he has, but he should retire 100%. Could you submit blind Craig Jones? No. Your eyesight isn't really important for grappling. Like, if you've done it long enough, even if you're blindfolded, if you can just feel the person, you know like where their body is at. Is Belal Muhammad the most sexy MMA fighter? I would say Vanderlei Silva is, but Belal is up there. I'm 110 pounds. Am I underweight for MMA? Yes. Yeah, that's very, very underweight for MMA. Did Dominic Reyes get robbed against John Jones? Yeah, 100%. There's no argument there. Does BJJ translate to bedroom skills? Yeah, but not in the way you would hope. Not in the way you would hope at all. Like, yeah, the way you can manipulate their body definitely helps, but they're not going to like it. You know what I mean? Explain? I was hoping no one would ask me to explain because I have no follow-up to that statement. Wrestling gold medal or judo gold medal? God, I don't know. It depends. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them, but I would say leaning towards wrestling, to be honest. Why Charles can't beat Islam? Because Islam is so goddamn well-rounded, dude. He's so goddamn well-rounded. Like, where's Islam's weakness? Motherfucker just boxed with Dustin Poirier. Like, I don't know where his weakness is. You know what I mean? There's no like special game plan against Islam. You are either good enough to contend with him all around, or you're not. Who is the better striker, Chiesa or Askren? I'd lean towards Chiesa there, but that's close. What weight class should I be should I compete if I am 5'10 and walk around 150? Depends how old you are. If you're really young, you should plan on eventually moving up. But like 135 probably. Another question. If you had to choose to fight Leon Edwards, but his hands are scissors, or be in the same room as a coke-up Conor. Now, being in a room with a coked-up Conor sounds fun. Could you beat Bradley Martin in a street fight? Dude, I would decimate Bradley Martin in a street fight. I would fucking ragdoll Bradley Martin. I'm telling you, I would kick him in the calf twice, and that's it. Fight's over. Like, no question. Did you see that 160-pound wrestler taking him down at that meet and greet or whatever? I would fuck up Bradley Martin. You're 19? Yeah, if you're 19, you're definitely gonna put on more weight and more size as you get older. How much weight should I make to enter MMA? I don't know, man. Will you join the riots if Belal Muhammad becomes champion? No, I'm just going to be sad. I'm just going to be really, really sad if Belal wins. Pennington versus Lucas Tracy, who wins? Pennington would fuck up Lucas Tracy. Recall Pennington, she would fucking murder Lucas Tracy. Who is your favorite MMA YouTuber? Like I said, I don't really watch other MMA YouTubers not very frequently, so I don't know. I don't really watch them. From what I've gathered purely from just like what the comments say, it seems like the guy with the most diehard fans is Bedtime. But, you know, I don't know. My least favorite race. Boy, that's a loaded question. My least favorite race. I would say the Tour de France. Boring as fuck. Boring as fuck. Bye, Richard. Lucas Tracy is your favorite. No, he's not my favorite. Love your videos, man. Always gives me a laugh when I'm downloading. Oh, thank you, man. Why the beef against Lucas Tracy? Did you watch my video? Did you watch my video where I called him out? He copies my Beneil Dariush Charles Oliveira take, which, I didn't think, whatever. I get it. I'd copy me too. But I left a comment as a joke. I told him diss track incoming. That's what I said. I commented to him diss track incoming. Like, come on. How can you be mad at that? And he threw a fucking temper tantrum. You see the comment he left about that? Like, that's such a fucking crybaby thing to say. What the fuck did he think? Did he think I was actually gonna make a diss track? What did he say? I don't know. He said something real. I mean, look at the video. It's my training camp against Lucas Tracy. I explain all of it. And I remember seeing that comment and being like, holy. I was like, dude, come on. Come on. You're Kendrick and Lucas is Drake. Thanks. Thank you. Still waiting for the diss track though. Where is it? That would be funny, but I can't fucking write a rap song. I don't know how to do that. I asked ChatGPT to do it for me and it just wasn't very good. He ever respond to the sparring invitation? No. Shay, who's your favorite comedian? You, Nate. You're my favorite comedian, man. Genuinely. I don't watch a lot of stand-up comedy myself, but I like listening to people talk about stand-up comedy. And from what I've seen, I like your stuff. Settle the beef. I wish I would do it, but he doesn't want it. He does not want it. Top 5 well-rounded fighters pound for pound. Number 1's GSP. Number 2... No. Number 1 is Mighty Mouse, then GSP, then Islam. And then... God, that is a tough question. I'll give you my top 3. Is 18 too old to start training? No, that's when I started training. I started training at 18. Oh, dude, Nate, that would be sick, man. That would be awesome. Yeah, dude, let me know. Yeah, shoot me a DM whenever you're whenever you're in SoCal. Do you think Max finishes Ilya with a Saenchai kick? I've never seen Max do a Saenchai kick, but that would be something. DJ's wrestling is not good, dude. Are you joking? DJ's wrestling isn't good. What the fuck are you talking about? Where in SoCal? I live in Orange County. Do you think Aspinall would finish Jones? Probably. Leon or Islam? Who's more well-rounded? I think Islam is more well-rounded, but Leon's very well-rounded too. Islam overall a little bit more though. You think you could beat Sandman in Jiu-Jitsu? He's the guy who does the tap me out for $100 at the beach. Yes, I would fucking crush him. I've thought about doing a video like that, but I don't know. I don't know. I have thought about doing a tap me out for $100 video, but I don't. Well, we'll see. Is the 3rd semester in the womb too old to start training, dude? Yeah, you needed to have started training before you were conceived. Please don't. If I were to do that video, it would be more of a skit than I think an actual video. But we'll see. What makes you so confident? Not doubt and just curious because he seems pretty solid. I will say. I mean, I've never shown any of my fight footage yet, but back in the day, I was like all in. Like I was training twice a day, every day. Like my whole life was fighting. And now that I do YouTube, it clearly isn't. But if I got back to that level, like I don't think a lot of these guys would contend with me. I mean, I'm just being honest. How can I grow an MMA YouTube channel? Dude, I don't know. I'm like the last person to ask because you just kind of got to keep doing it. You just got to grind and keep doing it. And I don't know. I was never expecting to have any kind of an audience. Still training Taekwondo? No, not anymore. Do you study? Nope. Yeah, as I've said, I would fucking murder Bradley Martin in a street fight. That's not going to be close. That's not going to be close. I would calf kick him. After the third calf kick, he's done. Nine to 5 work? Nope. I do some other stuff on the side, but I don't. My main job is to do YouTube. Thoughts on Cade striking? It definitely needs work, but, I mean, he's only 21 years old. So, I mean, he definitely has the time to develop his striking, 100%. Why is Nick Diaz fighting again? I'm asking I think he needs the money, to be honest. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but that's the only reason why I could think he'd want to fight. I mean, him and his brother, that's kind of all they know is fighting, you know? But he shouldn't be, and he should not be fighting fucking Vicente Luque. I do not like that fight. How important is talent in MMA, you think? I mean, athleticism is definitely going to be a big factor, 100%. I mean, I know people who have trained many years who are just not very good athletes at all, and it really holds them back a lot. Do you think any lightweight in history could have beat Islam? No, I don't think so, to be honest. I think he's a tough fight for anybody. Do you think JDM could beat Shavkat? I would have to be leaning towards Shavkat in that matchup. I mean, I don't know how JDM would finish him. You know what I mean? And I think his top pressure is so fucking overpowered. Nick got screwed with BJJ schools, got into the whole bat. Is that right? I haven't heard that, but it makes sense. The Diaz bros need to slip a 401k. Yeah. Shavkat's got a chin too. Yeah, I know. It's just like Gilbert Burns, I mean, as far as grappling goes, I mean, his jiu-jitsu is pretty much as good as you can physically get. But, you know, he still leaves room because he doesn't have that folk-style top pressure of just trying to smash you. So it kind of left some room for JDM to explode and transition. But Shavkat is just, he doesn't leave any room for that. If you're on the ground with him, it's just smash. He's going to get higher than you. He's going to collect your wrist and just pin you. And there's really not any space to explode and get up. Washed BJ Penn versus Tony Ferguson? Probably, I don't think washed BJ Penn is nearly as bad as washed Tony Ferguson. Does your girl watch your videos? I wish. Oh, man, I'm getting lightheaded from talking so much. O'Malley versus Topuria. I'm excited to see that one. I think O'Malley, he has the style to beat somebody who's a pure boxer, which is stay on the outside and throw kicks and use good movement. We'll just see if he could, you know, if he can maintain that. And we also haven't seen Ilya really try to get a fight to the ground. Oh, no, we have, but not at, like, the championship level. What should we focus on to improve our MMA in general? Well, I think you need to be really, really good in a couple areas and just kind of, and then get all. So I would dedicate yourself to a couple martial arts, like fully dedicate yourself, whether that be Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling. You need to go all in on a few of them. Get really, really good at a couple of the disciplines and then work to kind of bring all your other skills to that level. Because it can be a problem if you're good everywhere, but in order to beat somebody in an MMA fight, you need to be better than them in certain areas. So if you just focus on purely getting well-rounded, where are your advantages? You know what I mean? You need advantages against your opponent. You could be a good coach. Thank you. I think I could. I do coach. I don't coach any like MMA fighters, but I do coach. JDM struggled against Hafez, nearly lost to Gilbert, and was close with Holland. Is it just me? Well, it wouldn't have been as close against Hafez if he wasn't jumping guillotine. L stream, I'm out. Thank you for coming. Hi, Cap Native. I love you, man. Question mark kick or spinning back kick? I love the question mark kick. I love the question mark kick. That's my favorite kick. I got a good back kick too, but I would say question mark kick's where it's at. You should do live watch-alongs. Maybe. I can give it a try. Awesome stream, actually. Thank you, guys. Do you jump ghillie? You know what? Making my video about Dustin's guillotines made my guillotine a lot better. So I officially do jump guillotines now. I mean, it's a really good move if you've got all the mechanics down, but most people don't. I mean, most people will jump the guillotine and just squeeze. You can't squeeze. Squeezing an arm in guillotine doesn't work. You need to push their head down. That's what puts the choke on. Did you see Rod Tang versus Mercy? No, I didn't. Honestly, I turned off one championship after Musumeci, to be honest. You got Raul Rosas tonight? The guy he's fighting is pretty good, but Raul should win. So we'll see. Top 5 in MMA, like top 5 GOATs or top 5 just best? Of all time. Top 5, I already said it earlier in the stream. Top 5 all time, John Jones, number 1. GSP, number 2. Mighty Mouse, number 3. Anderson Silva, number 4. Volkanovski, number 5. That's my official list. And that is subject to change. I spammed Imanari rolls at my old MMA gym and got banned. Yeah, I threw an Imanari roll once during training and I fucking kneed a guy in the head because he like sprawled as I went for it and I've never done one since. Flukas used to do 1 fight companions back in the early days. Is that right? What are your thoughts on untrained big guys claiming they can beat 125-pound MMA fighters? They've never felt a calf kick in their lives. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm like, yeah, look, if you're fighting on concrete and you weigh 100 pounds more than a guy, it's a little scary. If they do get a hold of them, they pick them up in the air, yeah, but like if in a fair street fight, like both of the guys are ready, just a couple calf kicks and the big guy's fucked. Thoughts on bedtime MMA? I don't really watch him, but clearly he's got some ride or die fans because I see everybody commenting about him all the fucking time. So he must be doing something right. That's for sure. I forget who it was, but I remember that an ex-UFC fighter said to improve quickly, we had to focus on wrestling and boxing. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with that, but you need to be careful of the leg kicks. You know what I mean? Like I guess if you want to specialize in those areas, but you need to be able to fucking check a leg kick.